Like my shirt? You've seen it before? You're probably going to see a lot more. Hello YouTubers. Great to see you again, even though I'm not actually seeing you. This is a pre-recorded message. This is not live. No duh. Anyway, I was trying something new. New intro. It hit, miss. Guess we'll find out. I thought it'd be interesting to talk actually about myself. I used to be Christian a long time ago. I can remember some things, like back before I was a Christian, like when you're really young. And I started, with questions like, what am I? Who am I? What the heck's the world? What the heck's everything I see? Then I'm told, I'm a child of God. That's what I am. That the world was a product of God, all created by God. And I'm told all this. You're a young child. You depend on your parents, so you believe them. It's not that she was like willingly telling me stupid stuff. It's more like she was told it and she trusts it. Well, then you have church people telling you, and they'd show it in the form of a kid's story. The only part about Christianity I really enjoyed was Revelations, where everything goes to hell. And it's true, I was taught many of these things, and I was taught it as fact, and I believed it. And I would go crazy at school saying, oh, Jesus got the keys to death and all this, and I'm like, really believing it. Other people were joking about how it's keys to Jesus or God's car. I did not find it amusing because I really believed what I was saying. I didn't pray to him as much, even though I was, believing. This was around like elementary school time to like preschool. I really believed it without question because I thought that was fact. I believed that, who created the trees argument was valid. I couldn't account for anything else, and I would freak out quite a bit. I believe that the whole man should be a head of the household thing, even though in reality the entire time it was actually the mother that was the head of the household, kind of like in a Japanese household, which might explain my affinity towards Japanese anime. The thing that really started getting me off of Christianity, well, the very first thing that planted the seed, a really tiny, teensy, tomato-sized seed, tomato seeds are really thin and small, was actually watching assembly lines from Mr. Rogers. Then I started getting curious, not just about the what, but more about the how things work. Not just what they are and where they come from, but how. That there is, in fact, a how. And how things come to be, they get created. Factories put things together. And it was interesting to watch things get assembled. It was almost seductive, even, to watch two materials get shaped and then assembled. Then I had real curiosities, like the process by which God does what he does. I was told that his, things like his sound waves, his voice was forming things. And some things in science served to convince me more about God. As I got older, I just simply believed on verbatim and was, of course, getting angry and, again, feeling all lost, like wondering what my grand purpose in life was. This grand purpose, this ultimate reason for existing, that the second you complete it, you die. Because it's your ultimate purpose. Once you do it, you fall on the ground. That's how it's depicted in a few Christian movies. Once God decides you're dead, you're dead. Now that I think about it, that's terrifying. But that was then. Well, I'm going to talk more about then. Around middle school and early high school times, I was always wondering who my future wife was and all this other crap. And all these other things. I didn't believe that Christmas had any pagan history, which it does. I didn't actually look that up, but something tells me that's probably right. Someone else looked it up. I'm trusting Adam Conover on this one. Why? Because he just, I don't know. It just sounds more trustworthy than church. He seems more trustworthy than church does right now. Well, I would go to church. And you know how there used to be cheats in video games back when I was in elementary and you were in elementary, somewhere around the early 2000s to late 1990s? You go up, down, down, left, right, up, down, and all that. Well, those are cheats. Most of those cheats would like change and alter a character's appearance or things like that. And sometimes I would explain, how I use cheats, and one of the church members would say, "Oh, well, you're only hurting yourself." And I'm like, "No," and I'm trying to talk, but they're talking over me. They wouldn't listen. The cheats didn't alter the game mechanics. They just enlarged Spyro's head. Or turned him red or green or yellow. But they didn't actually just finish the game for me. It's not like I was being hurt at all. And then there was the whole Noah's Ark thing. I never questioned it. I feel really stupid for not seeing just how wrong that was. I mean, I feel really stupid. Like embarrassed kind of stupid. Like, where did the animals, run around at? What was to stop a predator-prey thing from happening aboard the ship? How do you feed all the species on the Ark? Oh, and waste disposal, like all the crap. What'd they do with that? What about the creatures that have shorter lifespans than 40 years? They say they had dinosaurs on the Ark. Well, what about the snakes? I've looked at those little posters they show of Noah's Ark and all the animals going 2 by 2. And I see literally just about every animal except for snakes. And yet we have snakes now. How does that happen? I used to believe that evolution was some stupid idea. As a child, I would call it evolution as like a derogatory term, and I was trying to come up with a brand new one. It did. Now that I think about it, it was really poorly done. Some people are more clever. I was not that clever. There's another common Christian concern, which is counterintuitive would be the word I would use. Whether or not one fits in to a group or a other kind of group or clique or whatever. When I was Christian, I wanted to fit into groups. I wanted to be somewhat close to people while acting like I owned them. My head hurts. But that's actually what I did. What's interesting is the whole time I actually did believe, I never once saw a miracle. Never once. I never saw actual power in prayer. The whole time I believed. I was believing, but I was more anticipating than believing. It wasn't so much faith as anticipation. I was seeing the people flopping around on the floor, going, "Oh," and all that stuff, and having a blanket thrown on top of them because, I don't know, maybe it's a magic blanket. It's velvety. Maybe that has special powers. Oh, we did communion. You don't want to go to church. There's no food there. When you go to church, you're going to find that for some abrupt reason, you're going to find you're in the mood for a sub sandwich or a pizza. Something big. something about walking to that church building. I feel like you just burned out all of your calories all at once. Well, that was my experience in church, just constantly wishing for food. It's like when you walk into a building, you're just hungry all of a sudden. You just are hungry. And then you're told, of course, that God's watching you at all times. And the natural question comes into play. Does he watch me when I'm in the restroom? Does he watch me poo? Does he watch me when I take a bath? The answer is yes. Cringy answer, but it is the answer that you're given. And of course, one of the things that I would hear is that how Earth, all the difficulties, Earth is a training ground. And personally, there's one thing I did like the idea of, which is responsible for me believing, and that was the idea that we could get a second type of body, a 2.0 version of these flesh and blood bodies. So, like, imagine getting, well, the next gen model of your human body. Think about all the things your human body has wrong with it. Now, think about your PlayStation or your computer or your iPhone or whatever phone you got. Now, imagine you get the next gen version of your PlayStation. It improves the online abilities. You get more hard drive space for the same price as what you spent on the last one usually. That's, you know, an upgrade. The new body is supposed to be like Superman, but dialed to 20. For example, we would be able to withstand a vacuum of space in these bodies. According to Christian belief, you would literally be able to do anything in it. Like almost cartoonishly, anything. That's the promise that's, you know, got Christians all hopping. Imagine having a body that you could literally do everything in. Like Ghost in a Shell, but like made up of flesh and blood rather than out of metal. You know, imagine having a body that can literally come back from everything. Like the most wild X-Men powers ever. I mean, you're still not quite God yet, though. It's supposed to be more in line with what the angels are said to do. But, like, on the tier, you have your humans at ground level, your guardian angels, normal angels, cherubim, seraphim, then Jesus, and then God. That kind of hierarchy. We're supposed to be somewhere up there with the angels. Somewhere in the hierarchy, we're supposed to have between here and here level of power. One of the abilities that's promised in the Bible is the ability to never wear out. Running indefinitely, in other words. Imagine running full sprint without running out of breath. And you could just do it forever. Your feet would never bleed. You would never feel shortness of breath ever. Imagine a constant state. Like, imagine that feeling when you're ready to start running. You know, that full of energy, your feet don't feel worn. Now imagine you've been running for a year. Like all 365 days in a year. Full sprint around the globe on foot. And you're sustaining no injuries. You're not getting any foot pain. Your clothes breaks before you break. You don't even break in a sweat from all that running. And you're running through literally everything. You're running through toxic fumes. You're running, you know, because you're passing through areas. You're running through extreme cold of the Antarctic. You're running through the heat of the equator area. You know, or walking without fainting. So constant walking, like right through a desert, and you don't even dehydrate. Or you take in a bunch of, you go into an ocean and you don't get overly moisturized either. Like your body is better than Kim Jong-un pretends to be. That's one of the promises. And another thing that the Bible has told us when you're a Christian is, if people insult you for God's sake, then be proud. There's a lot of people telling me how twisted I was, and I was proud of every second of it. I learned to be proud of it. I learned to wear it like it's a badge of honor. I don't so much now, but that's why every time someone would comment about how twisted I am, I'd be like, hell yeah. Yeah, I'm twisted. And I almost wanted to get even more twisted, in fact. It was almost like encouragement. There's a reason they were telling you not to. It's because those people who are telling you not to tell me how twisted I am were essentially telling you not to encourage me. Mainly it's because they're familiar with the religion. It's like telling a ISIS person that they're evil and their religion tells them to be happy about that fact, that they're being told that, and so that it encourages them to do more damage. I don't know much about that Islam religion, but I know what I've heard on the internet. It's one nasty religion. Christianity and Islam are at odds. Christians think that the Jews are the chosen people, as if somehow we're less important. I don't see how that works. We basically want to be like gods. I know I used to want that. I kind of figured that was a promise. One of the things that got me off of Christianity was the fact that I misunderstood the promise and thought I was going to end up like a god myself. And then when I realized I wasn't, it was a bit of a letdown. Having prayers go unanswered, mainly because we kept on expecting to win the lottery, which you're literally going to be struck by lightning before you ever win that thing. Things that broke down my belief in God number quite a bit, but they didn't work right away. These things still happen when I still had a strong belief in God. That's how I used to believe in God. I would have faith in all these perks, essentially. A perk package that outweighed my disbelief that I did have. I'm going to do a separate video on how I became an atheist. Or rather a skeptic. Depends on which one I'm at. I'll explain what my beliefs are by the end of it. Atheist, skeptic, or skeptic atheist, or agnostic atheist. I'm one of them. Guess we'll find out. Write, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll read them.